Welcome to Chem 101. I'm Josh DeGroot. I'll be your instructor this semester. Before we talk about the semester, I'll talk a little bit about myself. Okay. I go by Josh. I guess my full name is Joshua, but it's only my mom that calls me that. Half of the time it's because I'm in trouble. My last name is DeGroot. Okay. DE is lowercase. Um, got a space here, and then got a capital G. All right. As you correspond with me, feel free to use your pronouns. I go with he, him pronouns. All right. All my contact info is in the syllabus online, which can be accessed on Canvas. All right. As for what to call me, most people just call me Josh. I am totally great with a first name basis. Okay. I do have a PhD in chemistry, so I guess the doctor thing works too. Professor, sensei, that would be fun. Groot, I am Groot. Guardians of the Galaxy, I get all those references all the time. Feel free to use any of those. But Josh is fine. Okay. All right. Yeah, so a little bit about me. How did I get into chemistry? You may be wondering for yourself, why am I here? Why am I taking a chemistry course? That was me not too long ago, maybe 20 something years ago, but um, you maybe find yourself in a chemistry course. What am I doing here? I liked computers until I had met my high school chemistry teacher. And he was a really cool person on top of being just a great, fantastic teacher. Really believed in me and all the students. For me, in hindsight, that set me in a path to not just enjoy chemistry, but also end up becoming a teacher of it. So grad school, I studied uranium crystal chemistry. So uranium crystals, crystallography, those are things I like to talk about and read about. Okay. So that's a little bit about myself. You'll get to know me. Hopefully, I get to know you more throughout this semester. Before I forget, let's see if there's yeah, I got a nice list here. I'm going to try to do this all in one take. Okay. The things that I want to talk about today. Okay. We talked about that. All right. So this course has a lab component. I'm the lab instructor for many of you, but not all of you. So just be on the lookout for any sort of announcements, due dates, so forth from your lab instructor. For lab, you'll want to have goggles and a lab coat. You do not need a lab notebook because you'll be printing out lab notebook sheets every week. Okay. And oh, don't forget closed top shoes, Crocs and sandals don't work. All right. And long pants for safety purposes. I know it's not fun to wear the PPE, personal protective equipment all the time, but you can always blame the lawyers for that. But in all seriousness, it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay. All right. Best way to contact me. A lot of you will be joining this course through the internet, recorded videos, and so email is going to be probably our best bet there. 24 to 48 hours is kind of expectation I want to put there for the time for response. Often I'll be sooner than that, same day, sometimes instant, but 24 to 48 hours, I just want to put the expectation case I get a little backlogged. If you need my immediate attention, then a phone call to phone number in the syllabus or visiting me when possible or before, during, after lab are also great choices. But for the majority of things, email. Okay, if you're doing email, just make sure you make a clear subject of what the issue is or your question or comment. And that way I can just sort through it and answer it. If you have a question about a specific chemistry problem, such as in the homework, then any sort of screenshots or pictures and description of what you've tried, if you tried anything, but at a bare minimum, a picture works great in getting you an answer quickly and accurately. Okay. All right. Before I talk, I know a lot of people want to go here to grading. Before that, though, you can see that I have a culture listed as the first thing I want to talk about with this remaining part. Okay. Um, so the way I want this class to be, and the way I want you to remember it is not just as a chemistry class. Obviously, it's a chemistry class, but it is my sincere hope that this class ends up being one of the best experiences of your life. I want this Chem 101 class to be a place where you feel like you belong, where you can succeed, you can build confidence. Okay, you can ask questions and no question is too dumb. Okay, I'm going to say that over and over again throughout the semester. There's no question that's too dumb. Okay, ask whatever you need. Okay, and I'll leave it up to you whether you want to ask things publicly or directly to me. But my goal as your instructor is to be a safe person that you can connect with and that you can trust. Sincerely has your best interests in mind. And so I have the goal of being the most approachable, non-judging person possible. My interest at the end of the day is that you're, well, I was going to say enjoying the material. I can't always guarantee that people are going to like chemistry, but at least that you feel like I have your best interests at heart. Okay, so that's sincerely my goal. Right. So, but yeah, that's a class culture. Okay. This is not going to be a place where people are competing against each other. If you like the feeling of competition, that's great. But if you don't, then don't worry about it. This is a place where everyone can get an A. All right. When I say that, maybe some people feel surprise or shock. At the end of the day, as an instructor, I do have to grade things to assess how much you've learned. That's the purpose of the grade. And this video is not to discuss whether grading is a good thing or a bad thing. That's a whole separate discussion. But as for me, in this role, I do assign a grade, but if everyone at the end of the semester is 90% or higher, everyone gets A's because you've shown strong mastery of the material. 80% or higher, everyone gets B's. And yeah, the letter grade obviously is important for many, but again, I hope the experience makes it worthwhile beyond just what a grade is. Okay. So that's the culture. Hopefully, you get the gist that this is, I want this to be one of the best experiences of your life. All right. How do you prep for this course? Okay, as you're going to see throughout this semester, it's going to be a lot of videos of a lot of note taking. Okay. To save time, sometimes I'll have notes pre-written, so you may want to pause the videos every now and then just to catch up with the writing. If there's something I want to show in depth, the video might be a little bit slower, a little bit longer as you see me writing out the problems. I'm definitely a strong believer in writing out stuff rather than just showing you so that you get a feel for how to set up things. I think building that muscle memory of knowing how to set up your work, where to put certain symbols, tables, so on and so forth is a good thing to learn, especially if you're in a sort of a testing environment. Okay, so a lot of note taking. All right. So my favorite tools of the trade. Okay, I like to write on blank white paper, blank white paper usually. Okay. If you like lined paper, great. And I like to stick with 4 colors. All right. I like my black, red, green, blue. I used to have one of those 4-color Bic pens, 4-in-1 pens. So, and there's similar products like that out there. So if you like to stick with my color scheme, it might be a good idea to get those different colors. I try to do different colors just to kind of emphasize different things and show visual connections between different pieces of information. All right, but yeah, be prepared to take a lot of notes. We're going to be doing tons of example problems. That's really my goal, is to find an example for everything until you really get it. In fact, if you feel like you need another example to really understand a concept, let me know, and we'll make a video or tutorial about that as well. Okay. All right. Let's get on to grading. Okay. If you're not a part of my quote unquote course, you're just watching for fun, entertainment, or just for your own learning, but you're not part of a course. Obviously, this grading doesn't apply for you, but the way I run my courses, or at least this semester at the time of the recording. Okay. So we got this homework and quizzes. Okay, we have 15 weeks in the semester, and so that works to about a percentage point per week. Okay. Same for the quizzes. Okay. Quizzes, we will have you do them once a week just to make sure you're keeping up with the videos and doing the example problems, and um, just getting a general sense that's for me to get a general sense that you're on track with the material. And then the homework will be due once a week as well, usually divided into 3 parts. There's going to be a handful of chapters where it's only maybe 1 or 2 part, and then there's going to be a handful of chapters, a small handful, hopefully, that's where it's going to be like more like 5 or 6 parts. I know the naming chapter, I like to break down the naming scheme into many different ways of thinking about it, and so I'll have like 6 homeworks when it deals with naming, but hopefully each is like little on the shorter side, although I'm known to break that promise every now and then. But yeah, to be fair, a lot of my homework being on the longer side has been student driven, people wanting more practice. So that's how I'll escape that liability there. All right. So yeah, homework, quizzes. We're gonna have 4 exams this semester. I will drop your lowest exam grade. So I say 4 here, but I drop your lowest grade. So that works to be about, not about, exactly 10% each exam. Final exam worth 10%. Project or a paper, I don't have this exactly planned out yet, but what we've done in past semesters is people write a little paper about like their favorite element or molecule, or some aspect about chemistry that really resonates with them. Um, we call it like the personal element essay or something. So that's probably what we'll do. We'll assign that probably after the first exam. But we've done more creative things in the past. I've had people like build model crystal structures and stuff, and that's kind of also based on student feedback. So if you have if you're looking for something more fun than the standard essay, let me know. I'll listen to those ideas. And then of course we have lab at 20% of your grade. Okay, so your lab instructors, us lab instructors will share your grade status with each other every now and then. Okay, and then we'll update that on Canvas a few times throughout the semester. All right, so that is grading. Okay, let's talk Canvas. It's a standard search engine. Search should work. Okay, Mark Bishop, Adams First Chemistry, or even Adams First would work fine. Okay. This is a textbook we're using this semester. It is an e-text. It is free, although the author does ask if you're able to make a $20 donation to do that. I'll leave that up to you. Okay. But yeah, this is a nice kind of e-text that we're trying out for this semester. Atoms First is just basically, we're going to talk about atoms and building molecules soon as possible, versus some other traditional chemistry curriculums. They leave that sort of discussion towards the halfway point or towards the end of the semester. We're going to try this Atoms First approach. Okay. So yeah, you read through by just clicking on whatever chapter you need. Okay. Um, Now, I got nothing against this textbook or any textbooks in general, but my kind of teaching style, this has worked for me for a number of semesters, is I try to have you students rely on the notes that we build together for the majority of the semester, if not the entire semester. And so I've had plenty of students do very well in my course, and they hardly ever referred to the textbook, other than maybe needing another example or different explanation for a thing or two. But I feel like if I've done my job right, the notes will be your primary place for chemistry information. Okay, but again, that was an introduction to chemistry by Mark Bishop, Adams First. Okay. Um, Not the standard version or whatever it's called. If you do want to buy a physical book, they do have a link there that you can click. Okay. All right. That's textbook. All right. Now let's talk about the last thing for this video. All right. We'll do active chemistry. Okay. So for the Aktiv app, you would go to aktiv.com, or Aktiv website rather. Okay. Sign up. Okay, for most of you, it's going to be your first time on it. All right. For the email, just put whatever email you actually check. Okay. It doesn't have to be your uh, um, college email. It can just, I mean, if that's the one you check, great. But if it's your personal email, that's totally fine. Okay. Fill out everything, and then make sure your first name, last name is in accordance with however it is on the your official roster. Okay, however it officially is, that makes things a little bit easier for me. Okay, you do the sign up, and then it's going to ask for a class code, and you can find that on campus. Okay, once you're in, you're going to see two different tabs. Okay, one's going to be, or well, there's like 3 or 4 tabs, but the 2 tabs we'll be making the most use of this semester is the homework tab and the quizzes tab. Okay. Alternatively, you can access Aktiv on a smartphone, okay, or a tablet. And give me a minute to get mine loaded. Okay, so you'll have an icon that looks like this, Aktiv Learning. Right, so you scroll through and you just do whatever you need to do, whatever assignments are open, whether it's a homework or quiz assignments, and then you click on whatever you need to do. All right. So for me, I like to give a lot of attempts on the assignments. All right. I think I do 50 at the time of this video. And my philosophy there, I do realize is a two-edged sword. I can state the bad way of using it first. If people see a lot of attempts, maybe there's a temptation, if you're exasperated, if you're stuck, to just type random stuff until you get the correct answer. Okay. Um, if you do that, so long as if you're able to reverse engineer or sort of like study the process of why an answer is the way it should be, then I guess that's okay. But like really my philosophy here with the high number of attempts is just to remove the anxiety about doing homework. What I don't want, being a former student myself, is you go do a homework, there's a very small number of attempts, and maybe you get it wrong and it starts subtracting a percentage or something. And or maybe you only get like 2 or 3 attempts and it feels like um, really high anxiety. It feels like an exam or a quiz, basically. I don't want homework feeling that way. I want it to feel like a learning playground where you can mess up, try stuff, and ultimately understand why the answer is the way it's supposed to be. So I leave it on you as a person learning chemistry to learn the chemistry, to figure out that process and figure out why those correct answers are the way they are. It's in summary, it's on you whether you decide to shortcut your learning or not. And because we do have exams as a part of this course, if you shortcut that learning, then you'll get a um, score that um, I'm being recorded, so I'm careful not to say anything that sounds too mean. But you may not like your score. We'll put it that way. Okay. Speaking of which, this is a great way to close the video. My final piece of advice for this course. So, of course, we have the lab homework quizzes to reinforce your chemistry knowledge. A lot of you will ask a question, especially as the test is coming up, exam is coming up. What's your exam like? What's going to be on it? And so, one of my biggest pieces of advice for this course, maybe my biggest piece of advice, is this. Okay, do the practice exams. Okay, for every exam, I have a practice version, and it has similar questions to the ones I'll ask on the actual exam. Maybe I change a little bit of numbers or different chemicals, different elements, but the process is the same. I don't want there to be tons of surprises on my exam. I want you to feel like you're being rewarded for being well prepared for the exam. That's the hope and philosophy. I can't guarantee that nothing's going to be a surprise, that's impossible to guarantee, but I want that surprise feeling to be kept as minimal as possible, or as minimal as reasonable. And so past students of mine, that's been a common thing that they tell future students in my courses: do Josh's practice exams. It really prepared me for the exam. Maybe almost made it easy. I don't want to guarantee that, though. Easy, I've been told by many teachers who teach teachers, is a dangerous word in education. So maybe I should avoid that. But yeah, hopefully you kind of get my gist there. Do the practice exams, and the negative feedback I've gotten about practice exams, or not negative feedback, but how should I put this? Students who haven't done well, they usually openly admit to me that, yeah, I didn't do the practice, or I only skimmed it, or, oh, here's one of the worst ones. I studied the answer key first and it all made sense. So I didn't bother to actually try to do the problem. So don't just read, okay? I mean, you got to read it, obviously, but you want to do the problems, okay? Actually do the problems. Try them, okay? Make mistakes, okay? See what you did well, see what you didn't do well, and once you see, you're gonna get answers that you get correct, and you're gonna get stuff that you get incorrect, okay? Um, you got to examine both of these things. Obviously, with an incorrect answer, you're going to have to figure out why it's incorrect, and then you'll fix it. But your analysis shouldn't stop there. All right. If you get an answer correct, but it was through just luck, that's not a recipe for success. So if you get something luckily correct, you should also be answering the question, why, or how did I get this correct? All right, I think that's enough for a video. What is that, like 30 minutes or something? Hopefully one of the longer ones of the semester, and everything is shorter from there. But thanks for joining me, and I'm hoping for a great semester. Take care, and thanks for trusting me as your instructor.